Good afternoon. This is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred. It's a nice day here today in the spring, and so I'm getting ready to plant my broccoli behind me, and so I need to prepare that bed there. And so today I want to just share with you how to prepare your bed for vegetables. So thanks for joining me today out here in the vegetable garden. So behind me, this bed here, it's about 4'6" wide and 15 feet long up to the hoop on the end, and then I have about another 3 foot of bed left over. And on the end of this bed, I'm going to be planting some different varieties of lettuce there. That way it's close to the kitchen. And so what I have here is some of the old stalks left over from my fall planting of broccoli. And so I recently bought some gypsy broccoli transplants from Ray's Nursery that I want to plant in this bed. But you know, whenever you prepare the soil, it's generally useful for just about any vegetable in your garden. And so whether you're planting, you know, I plant these in my composted leaf mulch that's amended with topsoil. And the reason I amend it with topsoil is because the topsoil has some good minerals in there, you know, to help your plants stay nice and healthy and strong. But I'm planting this is my 18-foot by 30-foot garden bed, and I have these 4-foot low tunnel hoop house that I'm going to cover then these hoops with my spun bonded polyester. But what I need to do is end up taking these stalks out of here. I have my drop cloth set up here. You know, some people cut the roots flush, the plants flush at the stalk and then leave the roots in. You can do that if you want. But I'm just going to go through and put all these on the tarp. So let's take a closer look at some of the broccoli plants or stalks that were left over from last year. And so this is the area here that I'm going to be adding and amending these soils with some alfalfa pellets and some of my soy meal. But over there at the end are some of those old broccoli stalks from last fall. So I finished going through the garden bed, removing the old plants. And you know, if you have just a regular backyard with no raised bed, you know, you can also just till the soil there and amend your soil, you know. But sometimes, you know, your existing soil may be rocky or a lot of clay, and so, you know, I use raised beds here in our garden, and there's a lot of benefits to having raised beds. You know, I also use my composted leaf mulch that's amended with topsoil. I get that, it's certified weed free, so I get that locally from Barnside Compost. I buy it in bulk at the beginning of the season, and so I virtually have a weed-free garden, which is nice. But you know, every year your plants take up nutrients from the soil, so you need to replenish the soil with nutrients. And so one thing I've been using is, this is a soy meal. It's soybean meal, and it's got like a nutrient profile of 712. And so I'm going to add that to the top of the soil. And then I also have alfalfa pellets. That's a nice balanced fertilizer. It's going to add organic matter to your garden, and the soil microbes will break this down, making it available for your plants. And so I'm going to take this soybean meal and just scatter it right on top of the soil. Put a nice covering. And then I'm also going to take my garden fork or my scuffle hoe and work it into the soil. But this is a good slow release fertilizer. I ended up buying a 50 pound bag for like $15 locally from a horse feed place. And you can also top dress your plants using this during the summer. And then I also have my alfalfa pellets that I'm going to just sprinkle over the surface. You can also top dress your plants using this as well. I ended up buying, it costs around $18 to $20 for a 50 pound bag of the alfalfa pellets. And so you just want to sprinkle that all over your garden. Again, it's going to break down slowly and feed your plants throughout the summer. I like to keep things simple here, and these work really great. And so this is a nice covering of your soybean meal and your alfalfa pellets. And then I'm going to start to work this into the soil a couple inches. And so what I'm going to do is use my scuffle hoe. It's also like a stirrup hoe. You can see how it's shaped. And this is great for helping weed your garden. It has a double-edged blade on it, but it will also till your garden really well. And so I'm going to go over there and start tilling the alfalfa pellets and the soy meal into the soil. And so I'm just going to take it, move it back and forth. It loosens the soil up real nice. You always want your soil to be nice and loose. You know, that way the root systems can reach far and wide. And the wider they can spread, the more nutrients they'll absorb, you know, resulting in a nice, strong, healthy plant. But you can see how quick I'm going through this soil. Not really taking that long. I left these hoops here from last year. I didn't even bother taking them out. But I'm going to be planting my broccoli here in this bed. We're supposed to get some rain the next couple days, so that rain will start to break down these fertilizers. And that pretty much does it as far as tilling it into your soil. And another tool that I find very, very handy is my garden fork. You know, you could also work this through your soil. You know, certain plants require certain depth for their roots, like your greens don't need to be as deep, you know, 4 to 6 inches maybe for your root system, but you know, for your tomatoes and peppers and your different squashes, you know, it's good to have your soil nice and loose at a greater depth, you know, 6 to 8, 10 inches, and so again those roots will just stretch far and wide. And so you can go through your garden and also just work your garden fork through where you're going to be planting, and that's going to just provide a nice loose friable soil for you. And so anyhow, I hope this video gave you some tips and ideas on how to prepare your garden soil for your garden vegetable plants. So anyhow, I just want to thank you for joining me today out here in the vegetable garden. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the section below. And you can also visit us at plantsmartliving.com to learn more about gardening and how to reclaim your health. So anyhow, I hope you have a wonderful day. So until next time, this is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred.